and I've just spotted dinner for tonight. So if you'll just give me a few minutes, there it is. Hello. And she's actually coming over to prepare herself for me. And here I am again. The beach returns. Almost identical parts of the canal at the moment to the other day when I had to stop recording due to cold weather and batteries. Beautiful day. Just see a goods train coming in the distance, if you can, over those railings, and up above us there the tram line, with the tram pulling away from that station, Cornbrook I think it's called. So waffle, here I am again, trying to dodge the runners as usual on this section of canal. Not so many people today. It is no, it's not Monday, it's Wednesday. A week since you passed, Dad, and well, it's been a strange week, put it that way. We've had some really bad weather, awful rain and clouds. Almost feels like you're in Scandinavia some days. It's 20 hours of darkness every day. So here I am, and just coming up to Thistleness Bridge. Again, like I said the other day, it's difficult to know where to start, because it's such a mix of emotions that me, and also I think the rest of the family, are going through at the moment. And one that stands out in my mind is the fact that during the last few years of your life, you on the surface seem to be very happy with your kids and proud of what they'd achieved or what they were doing. Steve with his long-standing career in the dairy industry, and the level to which he'd attained within that industry and the respect that he'd gained, producing kids for a start, two very lovely little bundles of fun, although Jake's not quite such a bundle anymore, and Nicola, and the long-standing marriage to Nicola, and the hard work that they both put in together throughout their marriage until her very sad and unfortunate death a couple of years ago, almost to the day. It's no consolation, but thankfully Steve now is getting some financial recognition for and legal justification, if that's the right word, for to put his mind at rest. You can never replace a person that's so important in your life, but at least the financial and psychologically, the fact that the guy was found guilty must be good for them. So maybe you had pride for them, superficially at least. That's what it looked like. I know that until the very recently, there was an issue with Jen and Giles and contact there, as there has been for many of us. Maybe not Steve, but certainly for me earlier, many years ago. There were stretches of months or even years that went by when we hardly spoke to each other, for whatever reasons they were. So I'm no stranger to that myself, and who knows what it would have been like if I'd had a girlfriend or been married But obviously that it seemed that in the last few months that was kind of healed and swept under the carpet, if you like, and well done, good to everybody involved there for having the courage to do that. Whoever was wrong or right in the situation, or whatever the actual story is behind it, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. What matters is that there was some reconciliation towards the end, but I'm sure that, you know, if pride in your kids was a thing, that you also were proud of Jen for her multiple careers, just like me. Multiple careers where she just actually put her heart into everything that she did, and a very hard-working husband, lovely, loving, doting couple, always making time for their fun and leisure, and even now during lockdown, you know, it's I think maybe the bike racing thing has dwindled a little. I don't know if it's out of season or just they're just not meeting at the moment, but you know, Christmas presents were all about mountain biking and helmets and the gear to do that, and getting off into the Pennines to go and explore a new hobby. So fair play to both of you. And as you can see, I'm kind of waffling again a little bit, but like I mentioned the other day, it is really all about me just exploring my thoughts and letting them tumble out of my head. Alright, so to summarise then what I've just been talking about, it makes it doubly difficult that, at least superficially, in the last few months and years, you were proud, happy to see people, seemingly proud of what they'd achieved, and you were just a second. Yeah, that was a combination of some narrowboat guy giving instructions to a woman how to drive. It's not just on the road. and a rather overweight jogger who gave me a sly grin. Anyway, back to the point. So what makes it doubly difficult is because if you'd been consistently antagonistic and angry and if you'd continued in some of the negative aspects that you showed us of your personality during your life, if you'd continued that up to the last minute, then perhaps it would be easier to just feel completely justified in feelings about you passing. But as I just mentioned, the last few years weren't like that, and you were this frail, smiley guy hobbling around, struggling with your throat, struggling to talk. Even, you know, some of the carers and the people that the nursing staff kind of people that visit the house or have visited the house over the last few years have commented, "Oh, what a lovely little couple you and Mum are. What a lovely sweet old man Dad is." And if only they knew, if only they knew the truth about some of the things that happened during the past, and I don't mean just like odd occasions during the past, huge long stretches of time. I couldn't wait from about the age of, I don't know, as far as my memory goes, lucidly, perhaps 10 or 11, but subconsciously before that, I knew, maybe 5 or 6, 7 years old, I knew at that point that life was going to be a struggle living in the same box as you, and there were light-hearted moments, and there was guffaws of fun occasionally, and like Steve mentioned the other day, we've all had different emotions about the whole thing, but Steve is leaning more towards the think of all the good things, as you do when someone passes, whether you like them or don't like them. You think of all the good things and all the bad things. You feel guilty for feeling bad about the bad things, and you maybe sometimes the pinpricks of guilt from all the memories of the good things make you feel guilty, and I'm being drowned out by families, dogs, runners, and this bloody bloke on the boat teaching the woman how to drive it. So, I don't think my previous 2 videos saved. I was talking about the negative aspects of canal boating and how it wouldn't be a lifestyle for me, although I can see the appeal. And then went on to talk about beautiful places like this. Well, not that factory, obviously, but where you get to see almost like an element of the countryside, even though you're bang in the middle of suburbia, as you can see by the container yard over there. And the wildlife is just amazing, phenomenal number of bird species and things on the canal here. And look at that old railway bridge, obviously been disused for quite some time. So yeah, this is where the canal goes that way, which is the way that I went the other day, and that's where I've come from. And today I'm going to try something different and go that way. Never been that way before, heading towards Eccles kind of district. So let's see, follow the nose. And another thing is, especially when it's a beautiful day like today, and you've got the almost mirror image still canal water and everything reflected in it, the trees, the bushes, the industry, beautiful imagery. And I've just spotted dinner for tonight, so if you'll just give me a few minutes. There it is. Hello. And she's actually coming over to prepare herself for me. It's going to be a large meal for one, and no, I'm not going to give you some bread. Why would I do that? Aren't you beautiful? A huge one, aren't you? Just come over for your picture taken, I know. No? Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, get that scratch. So, I'll deal with that in a minute. I'll need to buy some more potatoes. So here I am, walking along this new stretch of canal that I've never been down before, so that's always something interesting. Because, as I was maybe saying before that didn't record, experiencing this new...
Get a bit of a money.
What? Alright. Back off, you wankers! Experiencing this new bit of canal is something great, because every new bit of canal looks completely different to the other one. And no, I'm being sarcastic, of course, but no, it is nice to be going in a different direction. It's become a kind of a thing recently, I suppose, in my mind, that when you go out for, whether it's on a bike like this guy here, woo, or so whether you go out on a bike or walk or get on a train and then go for a walk or bike ride or whatever, do you go somewhere different every time, or do you go to tried and tested places that you know are going to be good? You've great views, or a good walk, or a good climb, or a beautiful lake, something, a great pub at the end of it. Do you go for tried and tested ones and where you know you're going to be satisfied, or at least some way satisfied, or do you try somewhere different every time? And more recently, I've been trying somewhere different every time. It's good to have started this one. Doesn't get any better than that. Fucking hell. I really am a dirty old man, aren't I? Can you tell I've been single for 10 years? Anyway, right, pull yourself together. So yeah, recently, obviously this morning I started off when you're leaving from the same place every day, you've only got so many directions you can go in to make it different, but at least I've meandered off my usual route, or my previous route today, and God, what a waffler. I'm just waffling on and on and on, aren't I? Tell me to shut up. Shut up! Okay, I will. What a beautiful long stretch of canal this is. Yeah, it's got industry plastered both sides, but look at the beautiful uniformity of those trees, the tall trees like you'd get in France or somewhere like that. And thinking back to my last clip, let's see if you can spot what I can spot in a second. Not just industry. Have a look through the trees there. What can you see? It's not industry, but it is another monstrosity, and one that I didn't realise we were so close to. It's the Trafford Centre, the big fairy tale plastic shopping arcade. I'm so glad I don't work there anymore. What a godforsaken fake experience that is. So, back to this. So I decided to stop for some lunch. Don't usually have lunch. Bizarrely, since I sat down on this, the only stool that bench that I've seen for miles, and nobody's passing. But when I'm walking, loads of people are passing. That's weird. So I decided to sit down next to these big tall trees. I don't know what they're called. Aspens, are they? Something like that. Somebody would be able to tell me. And today's lunch is crusty roll cut into 3, toasted. 2 of the 3 on butter and peanut butter, and the last one as pudding will be marmalade. Okay, so I've finished my lunch. Picked up the pace a little bit now because obviously sitting down for 10 minutes, even though it looks like a deceptively sunny day, and when you're actually in the direct sunlight, as my face is now, it's nice and warm, obviously, logically, but it's I think the temperature's dropping, perhaps it's just the fact that I've had lunch and all the blood is rushing down to my stomach to try and digest it. And as I say, I don't normally eat lunch, but I had some bread to use up, so I thought I'd get rid of it. Those tall trees, not sure about them. I'll have to look it up when I get home. I did notice, however, that closer towards the top of the tree, much like that one over there, on the silver birch, that one is obviously You could see that the bark did resemble a silver birch, kind of, not quite as silvery, but perhaps similar, same family maybe. The obligatory trolley. A canal wouldn't be a canal without a trolley. So yeah, picked up the pace of it. Get some blood to the end of my extremities. Get some warmth going on. Plus, I don't know exactly where I am. Obviously I just went past the traffic centre, so I know roughly where I am in relation to Manchester. But I probably do have about a similar amount of distance left to get back. So pick it up a bit. Hopefully I don't need to get a tram or a bus, and the day stays light long enough for me to make it a nice long round trip, which would be good. And obviously I've last couple of clips veered away from the subject that I promised myself that I'd talk about on these little walks, to talk about other things, but that's just the nature of walking and whatever I'm doing, video logging, and I think it's good to point out things along the way. It shouldn't just be a great big waffle of me talking about stuff. So there you go. And I'll probably come back to that in a minute. I'll collect my thoughts and think about what I want to say next. That's a point actually. I was while I was sat there having my lunch amongst other things and talking to a family of mallards, I did ponder the fact that making these lots of little short clips as I do, hopefully I'll find a video editor and I can put them all together into one long loop instead of lots of short videos. But the very nature of the way that I'm doing this does mean that I kind of forget where I got to. What did I talk about last? And sometimes I've had to go back and play the bit again. So coming up to an interesting bit of the canal here. Don't know exactly what's going on. Let's have a look. I'll switch you around to front camera, and no, I won't. Yes, I will. So, slightly battle-worn boat. One of those crane things that obviously lifting goods in and out of the canal. Some strange graffitied Japanese pagoda style thing, and a little bridge. So let's see where this takes us. The gurgling of water as it disappears down that hole over there. Oh, a little bridge. Don't think I'm meant to go down the other side, am I? What is this place? What is this place? I think we're going over the Bridgewater Ship Canal, perhaps. Railway bridge there, a tower, perhaps a command tower. Is this the thing that Martin Zero was going on about? But it's a canal over a canal. Or over a river, as it possibly is. Still. This is the Irwell, perhaps. I don't know, I have to look later. So anyway, that's where they'd go over there. Almost like a, what do you call it? It's not an aqueduct, although it is carrying water over. Canaduct? Where do I go then? Where am I meant to go now? Swim? I think I'll swim. Get back to you when I've gone through there. As often seems to be the case on my walks, I'm now walking along a major road into Manchester. Unfortunately, it can't all be as scenic as the way out. The way back is main road. Bizarrely, I'm passing hardly anyone, hardly any walkers, cyclists, just occasional traffic going past, and now and then a tram. So forgive me for the noises if they do go past, but here I am alone. Walk down by the canal, get bombarded with people every few seconds. What is it about walking along a canal? It's just a man-made, stagnant tube of water. It's not countryside. It may have trees and bushes either side. It's not countryside. Are we attracted to the water? Are we just attracted because it looks similar to a river in the countryside? Anyway, here I am, making my way back down Eccles New Road towards the inevitable Beacon Tower that I can see in the distance. One long, straight, boring road. Just came to Eccles, didn't record anything there because there were quite a few people out and about. No shops open, it seemed, but quite a few people around. First glimpse of the high street of Eccles today, and I didn't realise that there are quite a few nice old buildings there, but what a shame that most of them have been replaced by god-awful 50s, 60s and 70s horrible flat-roofed concrete monstrosities, and as with quite a few of the places I've been to over the last few months, or the last year I guess, since lockdown started, there's an air of dilapidation, neglect, can't be asked kind of attitude about some of these places. I love living in the city centre practically of Manchester, and I could even say that some of those things about Manchester, but really places like Eccles and where was it I went to the other day? Sale. Went on that canal walk down towards Sale. Sale is another place that possibly, by looks at some of the buildings and the historical architecture, was once a thriving, lovely, out of city centre place. A market town kind of feel. And again, Altrincham, another very weird place that is getting on towards the places where, outside to the south of Manchester, where more well-to-do people live, like Hale Barnes and the Cheshire Crew, footballers and the like. And yet Altrincham is the high street is a strange mix of horrible 60s and 70s architecture and shops mixed in with oldie worldy pubs and lovely stone built buildings, stone bricked buildings, and I think possibly consequently as a result of that, the people that walk up and down the high street in Altrincham are a strange mix of the well-to-do Cheshire types and scumbags. No, not all people that are poor are scumbags. Lots of rich people are scumbags. But I think you know what you mean. Tracy, how you doing? That kind of person. A strange mix, anyway. So Altrincham was like that, and then on that one of those trips as well, I ventured even further and went to Warrington. I thought it would be a good day out to walk 19-20 miles to Warrington, which I did it. Lovely day. That's probably on another one of my videos, took lots of pictures at least, but what a god awful place that is. again, once you cycle or walk up into the town centre, you got echoes of what it once used to be. A beautiful, possibly market town of sorts. Nice architecture, and then just speckled with shite, run down, shops boarded up, people spitting everywhere on the sidewalk. I was going to say pavement, rubbish, dilapidation. Why are so many places like that? It's not just the last year that's made places like that. There's loads of places like that. In fact, it seems to be an underlying current of an underlying disease in Britain, that places are out of towns, out of the major thriving areas are like that. What happens to the British person that makes them happy to live somewhere like that? God almighty. Anyway, I'll be home soon and get a nice cup of tea, shower, and that's the end of this little rant. Anyway.